Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Jim at Cityscapes Lawn Care. Been meaning to do a long-term review on the Stihl battery FSA135R. You go back into my channel, you'll see the first thoughts on it, and then now this is actually, I've had this for 2 years, a little more than 2 years now. And I want to give you my thoughts on it after having it and experiencing with it for 2 years. So now, naturally, anything I say, your mileage may be different, but for some, this would be a good replacement to your gas counterpart. The power's there, there's no question. So there's a few things that I want to give you an understanding. We all know on the gas, you can feather your gas. It's not ideal because you constantly have to do your trigger, where on this one you don't. It actually has 3 speeds. Each speed does have a feather. So what I find out in my 2 years of using this, that I don't need the medium or the high, that I can actually just be fine with the first speed, the slowest. So what I'm going to do is show you what I'm referring to. So naturally, this is your safety device. You got to kind of do this. Put that out there. Okay, and every time I advance, you'll see your speed indicator. So now we're back to 1, 2, and 3. That's your power. 3 speeds, right? And I can feather each one as slow as I want, as fast as I want. The importance, what I mean by that is simply if I'm going to need the power, it's there. It's no different. I had the FS135R. So it was equivalent to the same power. That was the gas model. It's equivalent to the same power. It's just battery. It's the same head. It's the same everything, right? But now we just have a battery. So the battery, is it heavier? Absolutely. I'm not going to lie to you. But there's 3 types of batteries. I'll put this upside down. There's 3 types of batteries for this. The 300S is the largest capacity. Actually, they make a 500. That's just way too much. So, but 300S is going to add, with the weight of this, and this is the heaviest piece, is 14 pounds. My FS111RX was a pound and a couple ounces difference. That's it. So yeah, it's an added extra pound, but I caution you, it's a solid 14 pounds. Where on your gas counterpart, if you fill it, and that's where the pound difference between a full tank versus battery, the gasoline dissipates. Naturally gets lighter and lighter as the gasoline goes, right? So does it last as long as gas? Absolutely not. It does not. So that depends on what you're doing with that. So if I'm just doing normal weeding, and I can get, now I'm in Florida, so I have about 12 to 15 yards I do in any given day. I know I can get a minimum of 10. It depends on the circumstances, right? So if I'm doing long, tall grasses, no, I'm not going to get 10. I'm going to use a lot of power to get through that grass. There's no question about it. But if this regular maintenance that I do and I'm there every single week, yeah, there's no doubt I can get through 10 yards. Now, I don't have many sidewalks and I don't have any ditches. So when I say that it works for me, it absolutely does. And I'm glad I made that decision. This was my first choice, was the trimmer first. And I meant to be that as a backup. Batteries are simply going to be here. Gasoline counterparts are going away. Now I know in Home Depot, I don't know if Lowe's said it, but Home Depot said in 2028, we're in 2024, so 2028, 4 years from now, they're not going to have any gas in any of their handheld equipment. Now, you can't buy this at Home Depot, but just so you know what I'm saying, all your other your Echoes and your other, I can't even remember all the different ones that they have, but Ryobi, those you can get now. And all you guys with Ryobi and Echo and all that, okay, everybody has their favorite, right? I look at Stihl as a commercial. I don't look at Echo and Ryobi as a commercial. I look at them as a homeowner. Yes, they're different versions, and the more CCs you have, I mean, the more money, of course, it's going to cost. Do you look at that as a commercial, right? So homeowner versions, I mean, if you use that commercially, if you get a year out of that, maybe 2, you're lucky. I've had this for 2 years, and it's just as good as the day one I had it. So going back to the Stihl, the battery, it's expensive. So the machine itself is the exact same price as the gas counterpart. The difference is the battery. So depending on the batteries, you can get them anywhere from $149 up to $249. The larger the capacity, the more expensive it is. So that battery was actually $199. That's not the largest capacity. $249. Sorry, the 300S was $249. It weighs more, but you get 25% more capacity. So I mean by that, I get 25% more runtime. So what can you do to this one? It says 45-minute runtime. That's pretty accurate, but not on the highest. I'll call it CCs, but the highest performance of the RPMs. Right? You're not going to get 45 minutes. You're going to get 45 minutes solid on the slow, and that's what I use. So that's why I can do 10 to 12 homes, depending on conditions in summertime and versus winter, all that. So, but absolutely, for me, it works out. Battery works out. Here's our problem: that there is municipalities, cities, and states that are banning this. California, 2024, there is no handheld gas equipment that can be used. So, landscaper or not, commercial or not, they actually gave millions, California did, millions that you signed up for to buy battery equipment. Now they ran out of money. Okay, so now they're out of money. So eventually you're going to have to go to it. That's what I'm saying. Doesn't really matter. I don't care what equipment you buy, you're going to have to go battery. But choose the right one. For me, and I had all Stihl gas equipment before, I absolutely find no problems with using the FSA135. So it has not failed me once. There is no maintenance, right? So when I say no maintenance, other than I got to clean it, but that's with everything. So I literally just charge it, and it takes about 35 minutes to charge. And there's lots of conversations. Look, I buy extra batteries. And you just plug it in and you plug it out. So every one of a piece of my equipment has a battery in it. I don't use some of the hedge trimmers as often, so there's my spare, right? So I don't have a problem in multiple charging. Again, it takes 30 minutes. I'm home at night. I can go in there and rig up my trailer to have a battery replacement, have a battery charge a battery. It never made sense to me, but you can do solar panel. You can do all kinds of different things if you really need it. The easiest answer, yes, it's more costly, but just buy more batteries. Buy more chargers if you need a speed. I have one charger, just one. And I go through batteries, and typically I'll charge 3 batteries up because I don't always use my spares. Sometimes, but if I do, I use a little bit, so I don't always charge that. So it's just a routine for me. It's not a big deal. I'm done. Pop the first one in. You go take my shower. I'm done. Get all cleaned up from the day. Pop the second one in. That time I'm going to dinner. When I come back from dinner, I'm popping the third one in. I'm done for the day. Reset, right? So not a big deal on the charger. But if you need multiple chargers and faster chargers, okay. They have one that's a quad. The thing is that you pop it in there. You got 4 batteries, right? It only charges one at a time. So don't buy a quad think it's going to charge all 4 at the same time. It is not. And I think that was like $250 to buy the quad. It's just as cheap. Just buy 2 small chargers. Takes you 35 minutes if you really need the speed to charge. For me, I don't need it. I got one charger. I'm not going to show you. It doesn't really matter. It's just a charger. So anyway, back to the review. It is, for me, again, I say this cautiously, because it's not for everybody. And yeah, and I really sympathize with you guys here 5 years down the road where you have no choice but to go to battery, and you're going to have to buy a whole bunch of them. Your investment is a lot. For me, it is not. My investment is over. I've not had any, again, carburetor issues. My gasoline expense goes down. Yes, I have electricity expense. Call that a wash, whatever. But I don't have to mix the fuel, and we all know you're yanking, whether it's cold starts, hot starts or not. I remember, in my trailer it became, 98, 105 degrees there. Sometimes they were difficult to start back in the day. With battery, right off, right? I can take this, I don't care what the temperature is. Click it. So I do find, just as my gas counterpart, the Stihl FS135R, I use the same string. Now, it's going to vibrate. All trimmers vibrate. I don't have the guard on here, and there are reasons why I don't have the guard, and we'll go into that a little bit later, and I didn't have the guard on the gas part. This is really the twin of the gas. Just because it's battery, it's really no difference. Yes, you're going to need batteries. And I see some of you guys doing these ditches. My God, you're there 15 minutes. Yeah, it's going to chew up the battery, no doubt. So if you want to, and I don't know, again, a municipality, California, they banned them, so it doesn't matter. I saw battery coming, and I wanted to change. I just wanted the convenience of battery, and I could just swap battery, not worry about gas or any of that stuff. But I also saw that, with electric cars, and now we've got an electric everything. I don't think it's the right decision, but hey, I don't make the rules. I just got to play by them, right? So in 5 years, you're going to have a problem with gas. Now, I actually used my gas equipment for a couple of years, and I got a pretty good return when I sold it. So I sold it pretty high, which paid for all of this. I think it probably cost me about $300 more after I swapped everything, because I wanted some spare batteries. So, and I have equipment, and we'll do another review on all the other equipment that I have. But for me, I don't care if it's Husqvarna, again, Stihl or Echo, whoever. This is not a brand discussion. This is simply what I use. So the synergy that I have is just swapping out batteries. Now, of course, the next question is, how long does a battery last? Well, we know 45 minutes, right? And that's just constantly on. So your gas, which is constantly on, you may not pull the trigger, but it's still running in the back. I don't have those noises, right? I don't have the fumes. So that's the convenience part of it. But the battery is the battery, again, 45 minutes. But as I go around the house or the edge or whatever, and if it doesn't need to be done, I'm off the trigger. Well, it's not eating up battery because there's no power to it. It's instant on, right? So I have it on demand when I need it. Where the gas, it's always idling. It's always, and you're just going through and doing your thing. So, there's a little bit. But the novelty of this one, I can't say that's true for every battery manufacturer, but 3 speeds. I do use the lowest one, and I feather that one. It's great for around the pool. I'm not slinging it everywhere. It's slowed down. It trims the grass. You don't need it to be full throttle like we do when our gas. We do full throttle. Because I'm not going to feather that. Come on, let's be real, right? So the only time I ever feathered it was when I was by some wires or something, being very careful, slow it down. And it's always trying to slow motion. Go look at my videos, and you see me going around the wires. I am not afraid of the rocks because it doesn't have the power to sling it on low. It has the power on high to sling it. But I think I used the high once, and it was really tall grass. But yeah, I needed the power. And yeah, did I go through batteries? Absolutely. It was long grass, and anyway, so you see the videos, go look for it. I may even try to put it on the cards over this side. So, and I'll show you that yeah, it's going to suck up the battery, no question about it. And I really, it's a tough thing for you guys with acres and acres because you're forced to buy a whole bunch of batteries, no question. And they got batteries for the backpack, and then blowers, blowers eat up the batteries, no question about it. It's amazing how much power it needs just to blow air. But yeah, my blower, I can't make it. I can barely make it to 10. And I'm being careful. It's just, again, you can feather all this equipment. So anyway, I wanted to give you my 2 cents on a long-term review of Stihl's FSA135R. That's the common theme that I have all my equipment. It's just a series that they put out there a couple years ago. And again, I did it piece by piece. I liked it so much, I said, you know what, I'm going to get the edger, I'm going to get the hedge clippers, I'm going to get all of that. And I slowly replaced my equipment and sold my gas. And I got a good premium of selling my gas equipment. So honestly, it really wasn't much of an investment for me. I just replaced what I had and got a good value off of mine. So with all that said, if there's any questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer for you. Am I promoting Stihl? No, I'm not getting paid by them. This is equipment I bought myself. So, and I don't care what equipment you truly do. I find this one with the 3 speeds perfect. So much better than my gas counterpart. Yeah, because I can slow it down and get a much slower RPMs and still feather it. So I'm not slinging, again, the grass into the pool. I'm not slinging rocks. We all know about rocks. We don't want to do that. And yeah, can I edge with it? Absolutely. I need a little bit more power for that. Yes, I'll use the 2nd speed to give me a little bit more power so I can dig that little trench all the way down. But honestly, once it's maintained, and if you go to new properties, yeah, you're probably gonna need a little power, but once it's maintained, I don't need any more power. This is regular maintenance for me, no more different than gas. So I don't have the fumes in my trailer. I don't have the fumes breathing it all the time. And honestly, I don't have to change the spark plug or clean out the spark arrestor or change the filters and getting bad gas and trying to figure out why it's not starting. I don't have any of those issues with battery. Choose wisely, choose whoever you need to choose, but you're eventually going to have to do that. My 2 cents, peace. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want to give me a comment, go ahead. I'll be happy to answer for you. Out, guys.